Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Live at 5 from the Greensburg Power of the Past.
It's the 35th year and the tractor field is full. We've made our way out here and look what has come to pick us up.
That's right, we're going to take a ride on the steam engine, so let's hear it. Stay tuned right here for the Live at 5 with Emily Versman and Joshua Marsh as we take a ride on the steam engine around the tractor field tonight on Live at 5. Well, good afternoon and welcome aboard a 1902 steam engine from here at the 35th Annual Greensburg Power of the Past.
We made it out to the tractor field where the steam engines also are. We've got Chris Huber with us today. He's the operator of this steam engine. So we've learned today it's from 1902.
It was built in Columbus, Indiana, and has been farmed in this area since then.
That's right. Now, Chris, you have a long-standing history in your family of steam engines.
Yeah, I'm actually fourth generation in my family to run steam engines.
And how did you get into that?
I just around it since birth, pretty much. My dad always did it, and I just kind of got into it. But our family's engine was actually owned by my great-grandpa, and he actually farmed a local farm around here.
So now you don't own this engine. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is actually owned by the Bartholomew County Historical Society. They actually own 3 steam engines. This is the 16 horsepower and the smallest one that we own. We also have a 20 horse and a 25 horsepower steam engine.
Now, I was amazed to hear the amount of water that it takes to make this engine run.
Yeah, there is 200 gallons of water in the boiler, and then we got 70 gallons on the side there that we can use if we run low.
All right, now, do you go to other shows, or is this the only show that you come to?
We take it to various local shows and just kind of help educate people on the history of steam and kind of show it off.
Right now, do you come from an agriculture background?
My great-grandpa used to farm, but I'm an engineer now, so.
And how is something like this maintained? You know, there's obviously a ton of moving parts. There's a lot of parts and pieces. Is there a crew that works on this, or how do you keep it running?
Yeah, there's a group of us out there from the Historical Society. We work on them and keep them running. If anything breaks on it, you got to make the parts yourself. You can't quite go down to the local hardware store and get what you need.
Now, do you remember at what age you actually were turned loose and able to drive it on your own?
I think about 10. About 10 years old is when I started driving it on my own.
What's some things that you guys do with this engine, and then what would it have been used for when it was new?
So we do a lot of threshing, parading, stuff like that. Back in its day, it would have threshed or done light-duty road work, some light sawmill work, but it was primarily used as a threshing engine.
And then out here, there's a lot of demos going on, sawmills, thrashing. Is this engine being used for any of that, or?
Yeah, it'll run the threshing machine this weekend, and I'm hoping to get on the sawmill. And then tonight, if the tractor is out enough, we're actually going to hook it to the tractor pull sled and do a spark show. We throw a whole bunch of sawdust in the fire, and we blow it out while it's on fire.
How fun is that?
That's always a great, as kids love it, adults love it, everybody really enjoys it. So, Chris, what's the one really fun fact about steam engines, or this one in particular, that people at home just ought to know about?
Well, people just really don't understand how powerful steam is. People think of steam, they think it's outdated, but all these nuclear power plants and coal power plants, what they're actually doing is heating water that turns steam turbines. The steam is still alive today, people just don't realize it.
So your engineering background also comes into play when you're talking about steam engines.
Oh yeah, because it's neat to look at how everything was designed, and it helps to kind of know a little bit when you work on something.
Well, we appreciate Chris, we appreciate the Bartholomew County Historical Society for the opportunity to take a ride on a 1902 Indiana-built steam engine here on Live at 5 on WTRE. Special thanks to Dave Henderson and the IT team for helping make this happen. And with that, let's give it a whistle, and we'll be back after this short break.
There's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Good evening and welcome back to the tractor field at the 35th annual Greensburg Power of the Past from the west side of the Decatur County Fairgrounds.
What a week it is. Now? There we go. What a week it has been, though. We've been out here since Wednesday every night. You had to take a break yesterday for some other obligations, but it has been beautiful weather with the exception of rain yesterday, and a very, very busy show today. So
that's right. And if you were listening online or on the air and you weren't watching online, you may want to go back, find the YouTube channel for WTRE, click like and subscribe there while you're there. But you can check out our experience on the steam engine, the one that's owned by the Bartholomew County Historical Society yesterday. So that's what was airing. You were listening to the audio, but it's really cool to kind of watch it work as well.
it really is. What a fun ride that was, and what a difference. I mean, we've both been on many tractors in our lives, but what a difference between a tractor and a steam engine. The ride was completely different.
It was, and actually a lot of people asked, is it really rough? And it's like, actually, no, it's super smooth.
It was smooth. You could feel the power I felt.
Yeah, it was a really great experience. We appreciate them helping us out with that. And then we actually have already filmed our segment at the Sawmill, which is going to be at the end of tonight's show, too. So you'll want to stay tuned for that.
We had a lot of experiences through this week.
We have, and it's been a great week. It's been a great weather, except for yesterday with a little bit of rain, which didn't necessarily help out everything. But there's still a lot of stuff going on out here this evening. If you haven't made your way out to the Power of the Past yet, please do. Everything's open till 8 this evening. There's a lot of really great stuff going on. A $5 gate fee to get in, but and then, of course, tomorrow's the auction. But a lot of the stuff, if you're not interested in the auction, is over this evening.
That's right. So we do. Some vendors will still be open tomorrow. We have got Lana Martin here joining us. Now, Lana, do you have official title other than Clark's wife?
I'm secretary for the Power of the Past, yes. Yeah, I'm Clark's wife, too, and Kayla's mom.
So how did you get involved originally with the Power of the Past?
Well, Clark was already involved, and then I got involved through his family and him.
All right. So as secretary, what are some of your roles?
Well, my roles is, of course, our monthly meetings and make sure everything runs smoothly through those. And then make sure everything in the office is prepared for the actual show. Make sure everybody has what they need before the show starts.
All right. Now, you're in the headquarters building through the majority of the time.
Yeah.
So tell us, in the headquarters building, you have got some merchandise for sale.
We do have merchandise for sale. We have T-shirts, hats, pencils, koozies, buttons, name it, we probably have it.
And what's that process look like? I know one of the things that you guys often work on is, and Clark made comment about this, he's going to take next week off and then it starts on the next one.
He's taking next week off.
Yeah, you find that hilarious. So maybe I shouldn't have told on him. But obviously there's a lot that goes on every year in prep for this. So after Clark's vacation next week, which I hope you'll join him, how do you get started for the next one?
Well, what we do is the next meeting we'll have is sit down and go through what we need to improve on from this year and kind of encircle that into next year. Make sure we run smoother each year.
I think, too, where you're in the headquarters building and you get to meet a lot of the members, but you also are exposed to a lot of just the people that come through the Power of the Past, and you guys have visitors from all over.
We do have visitors from all over, and there's also quite a few vendors from all over. They're not just from the local area. We have some vendors besides some tractor people here, collectors from Florida. We have some from Arizona. We do have some, of course, from Illinois and Iowa, but we have them all over. They're just not local.
All right. And again, if you have brought a tractor out or you just want to become a member of the Power of the Past, you can do that.
Yes, you can. It's $15 for a membership, and that membership gets 2 people in all weekend. And they also get a display plaque that you can, throughout the years, you can collect those display plaques. And a lot of people will actually put them on boards and stuff. And a lot of them come in and say how many boards they have from all the display plaques.
All right. Now, the other thing that I would like to know is I know you don't get to shop a lot.
No, I don't.
No. But we do have a lot of vendors. They'll be open until 8 tonight. Come back in the morning.
Yes.
Toy show is also going on.
Toy show is also going on. It's a really big toy show. A lot of people come out. A lot of dads and fathers, grandfathers come out with kids. And
it's a generational problem, isn't it?
It is. Although my husband likes the toys too. So he's already been through saying, okay, did you see that one down there on the corner? No, I didn't, but I will make sure to see it before I leave.
I think that's also, we've been talking with folks this week that have been coming out for years, and now they brought their kids, and now their grandkids are coming out. And
Yes.
I think that's something too. I remember coming to the toy show as a kid. We had a bunch of those small scale farm toys that we would use, and I was looking at there's quite the variety. There's quite the price differences. You can pick up something for $1, and you can spend a lot of money in that building really quickly. But it's really amazing at the detail that's in those. And I was surprised at how many vendors were here with that.
Yes, there is. We have vendors also from the toy area that come not just from Indiana, but they're also from Illinois, Ohio. We've got some from Iowa, so I mean they come quite far.
All right, and now Kayla, your daughter's in charge of the auction this year.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be clerking.
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
it's going to start tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning we start at 7 a.m. Giving out numbers, and then auction starts at 9.
So tell me, what's your favorite part of the Power of the Past? I know it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, but it's an enjoyable work once everybody comes and meet different people that come in. There's new members every year, which is nice. People will bring in a friend, and somebody didn't know that this was even going on. We try to spread it out as far as we can, and it's nice to know that people are bringing in friends. We had one family of 3, and he brought his brother in and brought a cousin with him, and they all signed up to be members this year, which was kind of neat because just somebody was just coming in and thought this was a great show. And we have a lot of compliments on how nice this show is. Rushville and I think ours kind of teams up together, but a lot of people say how wonderful our show is over all the other shows they come to.
What year does this mark for you being involved?
Well, I would say it's probably my 30th year, not being secretary, but 30th year being here. It just, when it first started, I can remember it being on just a little bit of the fairgrounds, and now we've expanded, and we really need more room than what we have.
You've utilized every inch.
We've utilized every inch, and we could use some more, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for all your hard work. I know it's not an easy job.
I appreciate that.
You have to keep them all in line, don't you?
Yeah, and it is one woman. Well, there's two of us over all the men. That it's
You're
kind of hard.
in charge of all the yellow shirts, as we call them.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for being on here with us tonight. A big
Thank
thanks
you.
to Russ Hubler Ford, our sponsor for Live at 5. Also, Scripture Automotive, Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, and Gilland Howe Funeral. We'll be back in 2 minutes on WTRE.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Welcome back to the west side of the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds for the 35th annual Greensburg Power of the Past. We are in the final evening of activities out here, but of course the auction, as we just talked to Lena about, is going on tomorrow. And Emily, we have our next guest.
We do. So we did have to move ourselves today. The wind was a little wicked. So we had to move per our staff. They told us to move.
That's right.
But we moved over a little bit here in the tractor field. But we are joined now to introduce yourself and tell us what brought you to the Power of the Past.
Hello, my name is Blaine Schroeder, or as the steam engine people down there call me Digger. My grandpa came up with that nickname when me and my brother were real little. I would dig and he would doze, so that came the nickname Digger and Doze. That's what we've always been called here. I started at Power of the Past when I was about 2 months old. I was born in May, and Power of the Past is in August. So I was only 2 months old, and that was my first steam engine ride. So after that, I've been here ever since. So
Now, you not only enjoy the steam engines, but also Minneapolis Moline?
Yep, Grandpa's first tractor was a Minneapolis Moline Z. My uncle's, his son's tractor was a Minneapolis Moline Z, and lo and behold, my first tractor was a Minneapolis Moline Z.
So what style or what size is a Z?
Z is about a 30-horse tractor, and what we call a red nose. It's just got a red grill bar on it. It's not cast. It's just thin steel. But I just really like the style of the front end.
And so what's in your collection personally?
Well, unfortunately, Grandpa passed 2 months ago, so I inherited most of that collection. His favorite was obviously the Z. My favorite, we had something called a U, which is a size bigger than a Z, and it runs good. We'll just put it that way. When it pulls, it sounds amazing. So that's really the best two out of the bunch. I have one Oliver, and I got 7 more Molines.
And so let's talk about the steam a little bit. Emily and I, we showed the video of us riding the steam engine today. And so tell us a little bit about your work in the steam field and what you do back there and what that team is like, because it's obviously a smaller group of people, but it's one that people do come to see, watch, and learn about.
Yeah, so my job really has been being water boy. I'd be the one on a tractor getting water for all the engines. I've slowly worked my way up to it, driving the engine. We spent a good deal in Rushville learning how to drive steam engines. So the group of guys down there, about the best group of guys you could ever learn from. Granted, they're all old, but they're very knowledgeable, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
So when you first started to learn to drive, I mean, it's a massive machine. I don't know the weight of one, but heavier than a tractor for the most part.
Yeah, it's the small one, probably 8 tons.
So when you first learned to drive, how do you manage that? There's a lot of moving. Everything moves on it. We learned that yesterday. All pieces move, but there's a lot of moving parts just to drive it.
Yeah, correct. Everything's open on a steam engine. The main thing with any steam engine is water. If you can learn when to put water in, when to keep it out, and when to build your fire, keep it real hot so you get more steam. Those were mainly the essentials, hitting all your oil spots, grease, and making sure you don't break it. That is a very big concern of ours. If you run a machine in the wrong direction, like one guy did, you might blow a gasket, literally. So we just try to be a little careful.
It's really amazing to see, after 100+ years in agriculture, the key is just don't break it, right? Every kid that grew up on a farm from 1801 through 2024, I think that's the key.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate, because when you broke it, usually you were the one fixing it, or if your family had enough money, you just went to buy a new one, and you were never allowed on that tractor again.
Right. We definitely don't hope for that. So in the back, there's the sawmill and the thrashing, and I think they were making shakes back there yesterday. What are some other activities that we're seeing the steam department do?
So, like you touched on, usually we have a threshing machine going, a sawmill, shingle mill. Sometimes we have a steam engine on there, but it runs better with a tractor on it. We have let's call it a Paypec silage machine, or silage cutter rather. You have green corn, and it cuts it up into decent little pieces, and that's feed for cows.
You mentioned Grandpa, and
Yep.
that's kind of where you got started. So family-wise, who's out here with you?
Well, Mom and Dad are out here with me this week. My aunt and uncle with their 2 kids, and all the other ones, they were as a kid, but they kind of slowly transitioned to other things in life. And I'm glad I got the family that I got out here, but one of these days it'll grow a little bigger.
All right. What do you look forward to as the Power of the Past continues through the years?
Well, I'm hoping to look forward to having more steam engines and more things to do, like plow or road grade one of these days with a steam engine. I'm just looking to have a little more fun. Our steam guys, we just, as Grandpa would say, we just like to saute in life. Meaning we'd have no worries, no troubles. We just do our own thing whenever we want. And yeah.
I would so agree with that statement after meeting them yesterday. We had the best time, though. We had the best time back there with all of you.
Oh, I'll bet. Good cooking, too, right?
Good cooking. We learned a lot from the sawmill. Have you been a part of that this year?
Not this year. The last 2 years, I was kind of somewhat in charge of that, and it got to the point where I kept breaking it, funny enough, and it just frustrated me, and I said someone else needs to kind of get in here because I can't focus when I'm working on it. But we had the right guy. His name is Andrew, and he's out of Winchester, Indiana, but he knows a lot about sawmills. He saws a lot, So we got the right guy in there this year.
We talked to him earlier this week, maybe Thursday night, Wednesday night, and it was really interesting to talk to him. He has one in his backyard, I think, that he runs. So it seems like he really enjoys it. We got to see him in action down there yesterday. Anything else from the Power of the Past out here that you want to share and make sure people know about?
There's this one booth of lemon shake-ups I highly recommend by the headquarters building.
We appreciate those tips. There's a lot of good food out there, isn't there?
Yes, there is. There is. If you're hungry, come out here, but just don't get too fat.
There we go. Thanks.
Wise words.
That's right. That's the best ending we could ask for. Blaine Schroeder, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the work that you do and for helping be a part of the Power of the Past.
Happy to be here.
We'll be back in 2 minutes here on WTRE.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Good evening from the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds for the Power of the Past. It is Saturday night. It is a beautiful night in southeastern Indiana in the middle of August. I don't think we could ask for better. As Emily mentioned earlier, if you're watching on YouTube, our scene has changed a little bit. We've slid. We're hiding behind the truck, out of the wind, but we're still in the tractor field. You can still come out and join us live in person. And Emily, we've got our next guest.
We do. We are joined by Lisa Deck. Lisa, you've got a food stand out here.
Yes.
But you're also local. You grew up here and you live here. So tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I lived in Decatur County my entire life. The Power of the Past, Blaine Schroeder that just spoke before me is a second cousin of mine, so it's a family affair out here. So we chose to do this event. It's the only event that we actually bring a food trailer to, just because of the nostalgic piece of it all. So it's pretty awesome.
So we were learning ahead of time with some of the things in your food trailer.
Yeah.
And I think we both gained 10 pounds just sitting here, right? So number one, though, the caramel.
Yeah.
Tell us all about that caramel.
Yeah, so the story behind the caramel really is, it was my husband's grandmother's recipe, and I had to be married 20 years to get the recipe. And
oh,
so,
wow, stipulations.
Yeah, there were stipulations to that caramel, and we always joked about it. And I said that was the only reason I was sticking around was to get that recipe, jokingly, of course. But after the 20 years, then I went up, and I was kind of an apprentice, really, with Grandma, and she taught me how to make it to perfection. So that caramel has been sold all over the state of Indiana. So they sold it at the Beef Congress. You'll find it at Ironman. But there's nothing else like it. But it takes a while to be very precise and when to pull it off and it's tricky sometimes.
Now it's the Harris City
Yes.
caramel, right? That's what. And so you've got a food trailer here, but how much have you made? Because I think you kind of continue to make it, right?
Yeah. We now have people call us all the time. I had a lady that called Carrie and I over the summertime, and she was from Ohio. She was here at the Power of the Past last year, and she still had the lid, which has our name and our phone numbers on it. And she ordered, she ordered a whole batch, which, a batch is about, I don't know, I would say it's probably close to 62 ounces. And so I met her halfway, and she picked it up. So, yeah, I'm making caramel a lot. So, but that's okay.
How much did you make for this weekend?
For this weekend, I made 48 batches, I think, 48 batches. So we sell it in what I call the large container and the small container. So that's 16 ounce and 18 ounces, plus what we needed to make to sell over the apples and the cheesecake and the other things that we have with it. So we still have some left, which is fine. We have another big event coming up at Hope Heritage Days where we just sell the caramel. We don't do the extra stuff. But yeah, it's time consuming. It takes me about 30 minutes to make a batch, so it's time consuming.
So with that caramel, though, while you're here at the Power of the Past only, this one time only.
Yeah.
You can take that caramel and you've got different items you can put it on.
Yeah. We dice up an apple, so we can put it over the apple. We also have a banana, which is one of my favorites. So I have an apple banana combo that they can get with the caramel over the top. Or we have the New York style cheesecake, and we drizzle it over the top, and you can have that with whipped cream. And I've got some people that add the chocolate to the caramel. So pretty much however you want it, we'll do it for you.
And then you were also talking about a strawberry freeze.
Yeah, so this year we added something. We thought, well, let's do something a little different. And so we use our lemon shake up, and then we mix that with fresh strawberries and ice, and we put it in our smoothie blender, and we're calling it the lemon strawberry freeze. And so it has been a huge sell. I mean, people love it. They've come back and they said, how did you make that? And we really love that.
You've got to be married 20 years.
Yeah, not for that. But yeah. Yeah.
Now you did get a nice shout out about your lemonade, but unfortunately,
yes. Yeah. So we have officially sold out of our lemon shake up. We do squeeze all of the lemons. We have quite the process to do that. We actually go up to my aunt and uncle's certified kitchen to do all of that. So what we do different than probably some of the other lemon shake ups that you find at a festival or a fair is we do the fresh pulp, and then we mix the sugar in and blend it for a long time so that you won't have any of that granulated taste or a bunch of sugar in the bottom of it. So a lot of the stands will, they do the fresh squeezed lemon, add the water, throw the sugar in. Then if you get a big, slurp in your straw, sometimes you get pure sugar. So that's one thing that we do differently for that. And that's just because when we started doing it, I'm like, I don't like it when I get a lemon shake up and there's a bunch of sugar in the bottom of it. So now we have had several requests to get that sugar free, but I haven't quite mastered that yet. I've tried, and it just doesn't taste the way I think it should, so we haven't done that.
Maybe by next year.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You've got all the time in the world, right?
Yeah. Bored out of my mind.
Now, but growing up here and you come from an agricultural background as well. Yeah. What's it mean to come back, though, to the Power of the Past and be able to offer your services here and be a part of the show?
Yeah, honestly, my dad summed it up best yesterday. He said, well, by golly, coming up here is just like coming to Old Home Week. He said, it's like I get to see people I haven't seen in a long time. And he says, I sure enjoy it. And I concur with what he says on that, because I get to talk to people that I don't really get to see as much as I used to. Josh's mom and I were best of friends in high school, and still obviously friends. But, just catching up with her yesterday and just seeing people that when you get so busy in life, you don't get to see them as much. And that's what the Power of the Past is for me. me as well, is not only getting to see all these cool tractors and bringing back as a kid, I mean, as Blaine was mentioning it, the Grody family, I mean, they all had Molines, right? So we still have our Minneapolis Moline star that my dad has and is you. And, it's just fun to come up here and look at it all.
Well, the other thing I think is when you come by your booth, you see family.
Yeah.
You have family and friends there with you.
Yes, yeah. So my daughter, I mean, we sort of started all of this. She's a school teacher. She teaches at South Decatur. And, when you're a young school teacher, and not to say they don't make a whole lot of money, but, don't really make a whole lot of money at first. So we was kind of like, okay, what kind of side gig can we do and partner with, and I'll help you, and you can pay off, your student loan debt. And that's really how it all started out. Is I said, well, let's start doing, the caramel like Grandma and Jack and Susie do, and so now she knows how to make it, and we're teaching Adeline and Avery, her daughters, how to make it. And I had my grandson, Otto, he was in there running the cash register, so we had math lessons this weekend, and so it truly is a family affair.
Well, we thank you for being out here and coming out and talking with us.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes, we have enjoyed it so much, and I think we look forward to some good stuff out of there as well.
We appreciate it, and we thank everybody that has come by and patronized at our booth. And it always makes me feel nice when people say, well, I just want to support local. And so that's, although we don't, want to appreciate everybody that's out here, but it's nice for when people say that.
And as the holiday season's coming upon us, quickly, it feels like.
Yes.
You guys will continue to kind of be out and about with the caramel.
We also now sell our caramel at Hillbilly Corner.
Oh, wonderful.
So if anybody wants it, they can go out to see Robin and Katrina, and we have it in stock out there.
All right. Well, thanks for being a part of the show
All right,
today.
Emily. Thanks, Josh.
Yep, thanks, Lisa. Special thanks to Russ Hubler Ford for being the sponsor of the Live at 5 from the Decatur County Fairgrounds for the 35th annual Power of the Past. Also, thanks to Scripture Auto, Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Gillenhowe Funeral Home, and Trailer Sales of Indiana. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back from the west side of the fairgrounds.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Welcome back to Russ Hubler's Live at 5, coming to you live from the 35th Annual Power of the Past. What a week it has been.
It has been. It's been really great. It's been a lot of fun. We've gotten to talk to a lot of people that have a lot of history out here.
We've learned so much, and I've been coming out here for years, and I didn't realize what I didn't know until I learned so much more this week.
And I think this is a prime example, right? Dave helps us. We talk about Dave a lot. Dave's always behind the camera. Dave's on camera now, so Dave Henderson is joining us.
This is Dave.
I prefer to be behind the board.
Right, but your family, well, great. Well, I'm glad that you're the producer and there's somebody else that's the executive producer that makes you one of the guests. But tell us a little bit, you've got a long family tradition out here as well.
Yeah, so my grandpa is Jack Wilson. He passed back in 2015, but I remember coming out here when this all got started, and I believe Dale Wilson was our president at that time, and then somebody you're familiar with, Mark Klosterkemper, was also involved at that time, Bill Blaisdell, and Emily had texted you earlier a list of the charter members, and I remember at that time we had all the tractors out just to the north of the headquarters building, and I think we barely filled that little area up. And then after that, it moved out here to the Midway area that everybody's familiar with, and then we kind of started working on filling that up. But I think I was 8 years old when we first started coming out here. And then eventually after the Midway got filled up, everything kind of moved over here to where the tractor field is now. So that's been the progression over those years.
So for you, seeing it expand, knowing that Grandpa was a charter member of it, what's that like for you to be able to come back and be a part of it? I know you were able to bring your tractor this year, but you do still have it.
Oh yeah, I still have all Grandpa's tractors. I have an M, 2 Super M's, a Super MTA, and an old Alice Chalmers 190 XT. But it's fascinating. There's a lot of history out here, a lot of how things work, and I think it's just super important to know where you came from and how things progress through the years. If you understand kind of how things started, it kind of gives you a direction to go going forward.
So I think it's interesting because I grew up out here as well, just like you did. So now we're seeing the generational flip. Does that make sense when I say that? And even Josh coming, bringing Grandpa's truck out. So it's interesting for me to sit back and see now I know Clark and Tom are trying to, won't say retire, but slide back a little bit. But seeing us, I guess, kind of grow up and take over as time has passed.
Yeah, and then you see my daughter Emma was out doing the pedal tractor pull yesterday, and she's done that for several years now. But she's now a little bit older and taller, and so now she actually competed in the adult pull, the adult class. But she's been out here for many years. She didn't get to ride with me this year on the way in. Over the first several years when she was little, she'd ride because we always drove. We live close enough that we drive the tractor in, and I always figured that was good exercise for that Super M to drive it in every year and make it work a little bit. But yeah, it is fascinating because you see some of the guys who are in gals who were kids running around here when I was little. Now they're adults with their own kids, and now you see their kids running around, and so yeah, it is really fascinating to see all that.
What's one of those things as well that you talk about your history here? What do you think the future of a show like this and pieces and parts and making sure that people? What's the key to that in your opinion?
I think we have to keep our youth involved, and as we keep the youth involved, I think the interest will continue to grow, and hopefully they'll continue to bring the stuff out, and we have to keep the old timers, for lack of a better term, involved, because they're the repositories of knowledge, if you will, that kind of understand how some of this stuff worked back in the day. And they were that generation, like my grandpa's generation, and maybe a little bit younger than that, and even myself, I spent a lot of time on a Super M with a disc behind it. That's what we started out on, and of course you'd end up half deaf and sunburnt, by the time the day was over. But so I guess maybe it would be my generation as well that still used some of the, I guess, the mid '50s equipment that was still popular and still actively working in the '80s when we were, that's when we were also really involved in the antique tractor pulling, and I think that's how a lot of this got started. There was a lot of guys that just traveled
around to all the local polls, and then it kind of became a, hey, let's do our own club, and then we would have the polls here. But yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to Dave, because you have honestly gone above and beyond technology-wise for us this year. And what I love about this is it's not just because I don't stop, and I know that. And then Dave says, "You're stressing me out, Emily." But what I love about this is we're able to put it out to the world. So for those that may think, I don't know if I'd like to go out there, I don't know what that is, I don't know what they're talking about, you've been able to produce a video that we've been able to put out for people to see. And, you know, whether that be the steam engine or the sawmill or just the tractor field, or just bringing this show out there. So I do so appreciate that.
Hopefully we can leverage some of the technology to show some of the generations who might not be, or the folks who may not know what is going on here. Maybe they can get a look, and it'll, you know, maybe that's also a piece that will help grow the show in the future, is some of the, I guess, the AV side of things and video production and whatnot, social media, so that maybe a few other folks will get interested, want to come out.
We're sorry for stressing you.
I didn't get fired yet.
You did not get fired this go round.
I think Dave's going to make it through this show.
You think so? Without getting fired? Yeah. It was kind of rough the last one, so. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dave, for all your help to make the Power of the Past production work for the Live at 5 here on WTRE and on YouTube. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go check that out. It's a great way to see what's happening behind the scenes. We've got some great videos that have been put out, and it looks like we're going to probably continue to do these going forward. So you're probably going to want to learn how to keep up with that. But thanks, Dave, for all your help behind the scenes to make Emily and I sound and look good, so that we can talk about what's happening in our community. Much appreciated.
All right, we'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back to wrap it up live here from the Power of the Past.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details, and we give away great door prizes.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Welcome back to the 35th Annual Power of the Past. We've sort of got our final sit-down segment for the year, and then I think we're going to transition into some video work as well. But what better way to end it than with Chairman of the Power of the Past, Clark. Thanks for joining us and being back to talk about what the show's been like this year. Of course, there's still a little bit to go. There's some stuff tonight and tomorrow.
We still got stuff going on. We got the garden tractor pull tonight. We still got the hit and miss engines or tractors out here still, and the flea market's still open, so we're still got plenty to see yet tonight.
You didn't get rained on today.
No rain today yet.
And you've had a great crowd today, though.
We've had a nice crowd today. Yes, we have.
So what was the final tractor count? Because when we talked on Thursday, you were still counting, and as we were on the air, you were like, there comes another one. So what did we end up?
487.
Nice work. Wait, is this the top number ever? We're not sure.
It's close. We've been around that 500 tractors before, but we was really hoping for 500, but we came close.
Well, we want to thank you for allowing us to be out here all week long. We've had a great time. We've learned so much.
I'm glad you guys came.
So what, I know you're going to take next week off to think about life.
Yeah.
And what you're doing. But what's your overall assessment of this year's show?
I think everything turned out good. I mean, we've got a few hiccups. We've had a few things we've talked about, but there's some things we've already talked about, discussed for next year.
All right. Now, the rain did play a part in some alterations, but still got to have the tractor parade today. Still have the tractor drive in on Friday.
Yeah.
So you're still able to have most of your activities.
We've made most of them. I mean, really, the only thing we've missed out on is the tractor pulls. That's really the only thing we've really missed out.
And tonight's the garden tractor pull?
Garden tractor pull tonight at 7 o'clock.
For people that don't understand, tell us the difference between a tractor pull and a garden tractor pull.
On the tractor pull, you've got like your regular farm tractors. On the garden tractor pull, you've got the garden tractors that they've souped up, bigger motors, longer frames, and that's what they pull today or tonight.
How does we've seen a lot of trailers coming in, so I'm assuming, is there a circuit for that?
They've got the southeastern Indiana tractor pullers, but they're all fancy because here comes one now and they're all closed in. They don't like you to see their merchandise. They're like the big boys.
They're fancy, right?
They're fancy. Us old tractor guys, we just take our tractor and go play, but these guys take it serious.
And how many entrants do you expect to be in the poll tonight?
There'll probably be 70 to 85.
And that starts at what time?
7 o'clock.
And as we've talked about before, your gate fee gets you into that, so it's
$5 gets you in. You go anywhere you want to go, do whatever you want to do.
You can shop, eat, and watch the poll.
That's right.
Yeah.
How's the sled work in the garden tractor pull? Of course, in the big ones, we've got the normal sleds. I'm assuming there's scaled down.
It's just a mini version of it. It's still a transfer sled. It's just a mini version of like the big sleds.
And does the organization bring that, or
they supply their own?
And then is there like prize money for the different heats?
I don't know. They handle all that. All I have to do is supply the ground.
They just come in and put it on.
They come and put it on.
Very good.
Well, that's good. And that's something too. I don't know that a lot of people. I mean, that's not something that comes to the fair.
No.
So it's really about the only time, as far as I know, in Decatur County that
they get to come out. The local ones get to come out and do all their pulling here. That's what we try to do.
Well, it's been a great show. I have to say, though, I saw you over there a little bit ago with your daughter and your granddaughter. So, and we had Lana on earlier today. But making it a family affair, and everyone's involved all week long for you guys.
Yes. Everybody. It's on top we see each other. Because other than that, we're all we're going different directions. This is usually the first time we see each other.
Well, it's been a great show. Again, we thank you. You got our steam engine ride, and you've helped us in any way that you can.
That's what my job is.
So we'll continue to push the power of the past and hope for a bigger crowd, even more so next year.
That's what we're going to try next year with Alice Strummers. We're going to try to be bigger.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get invited back.
Well, I'm going to ask you now. You can come back anytime you want to.
Well, we'll have to see if our contracts allow.
If our contract is good.
All right.
Our managers are over there, Clark. They take care of
it. Tell us a little bit about, there is some activity going on tomorrow with the auction. Lana talked a little bit about that. What do you expect out of that? How big is it, etc.?
The auction is pretty good size. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. We're shooting to be done by 2:30. You start coming get your numbers at 7, but it's going to be a big crowd.
1 ring, 2 rings?
2 rings. It's going to be a big crowd.
So you better know what you want so you know where it's going to be.
Know what you want, get your numbers early, and be ready, because once we go, we're going to go, but it's going to be a fast pace.
What's some of the big items back there?
I think Kayla's got 17 tractors. She's got trucks, automobiles, merchandise, lawnmowers. I mean, just a little bit of everything.
Now, we did hear that you'd been down to scope out the toy show.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything interesting down there we need to know about?
No, the reverse problem is when you got most of them at home, you can't hardly find one you need.
It takes a very unique piece, doesn't it?
It takes a unique piece.
We have that situation, too. We understand.
Yes. When you have probably Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. So, and the toy show goes on through tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah, because it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they'll probably go till noon, 1 o'clock.
All right. Food vendors are still out. Shopping is still going.
Yep. Everything come on out. I mean, the weather's nice. I think the rain passed us, it looks like. So, I mean, come on out to Greensburg. It's just a nice evening.
It is beautiful out. Well, we so commend your board and all of your officers. They've done a great job with the show. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Well, Josh, it's been a great week.
It has been. I've really enjoyed it. I've got to learn a lot. See, same thing as everybody else said. See old friends, make new ones, learn a ton, learn more about the history of Decatur County and agriculture and equipment and farms and things in our own backyard. And you get to see things that were made in Decatur County. Rick Imsweller was talking the other day about having a wooden water pump made here in Greensburg. That company was only in business for 5 years, and he's got one of them, on display. So that was really cool. We got to ride the Bartholomew County, the Columbus, Indiana-made steam engine, and we've even got to sample a little bit of food along the way. So there's definitely a lot going on out here. As Clark mentioned, you can still come out, but it does take a whole team. So a big shout out to all of the directors, all of the grounds crew, and everybody who helps put it together, and then also help clean up. Right? It takes
cheerleaders
a whole,
this year.
Cheerleaders did the cleanups, the trash, however you want to call it. I'm trying to think of a nice name to call it.
They've done a phenomenal job.
Yes,
though.
they have. They have in the past. They do a good job.
So
North Decatur, South Decatur's been taking the money to park. They've done a wonderful job. I mean, everybody's just worked good together this year.
This is an entire community event, and I think that's
Yes.
why it's one of my tops.
Yes. It takes us all to do this.
Well, it's been a great week. Before we go, we are sitting, though, in front of a vehicle that comes from your family.
Yeah, so we're using it as a windbreak tonight. It's my grandfather whose grandfather purchased it. So my great-great-grandfather, it's a 1930 Ford Model A. And my dad's side of the family restored it in the late 90s. It's owned by my mom's family. And so we're using it as a windbreak, and it's been kind of fun to get it out. It was out for the bicentennial 2 years ago, and it had not been out in 10 years before that. And so give it 2 more years. We got it out, got it running. Tom Cherry helped us with the carburetor, and we got it all shined up. And it's been kind of fun to drive it back and forth to the Power of the Past and talk to people about my family's history as it involves in it. And it seems like it gets a lot of head turns, just like all the other tractors and stationary engines and lawn and garden out here as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll be back next year.
All right, guys. We thank everybody for joining us for Live at 5 throughout the Power of the Past. It's been a great time. Stay tuned, though, because we got to go on a kind of a behind the scenes of the sawmill yesterday. So we'll hear that audio and a little bit more. So stay tuned. Again, thank you, everybody. A good big thanks to our team. And we'll see you next year right here from the Power of the Past.
Welcome back to the Power of the Past. It's the 35th annual. We've made it back to the sawmill. This is something extremely interesting that you don't just see every day.
That's right. So they've got a whole mill set up here that belongs to the Power of the Past, early 1900s, with a case engine. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, the steam engine is a good friend of mine. It's a 40 horsepower case, 1915, and he lives down around the Sunman area. And then the sawmill, like I said, is a early 1900s era, and basically we're just taking logs and making them into usable lumber. And he was wondering where the lumber goes to. The logs are basically club members bring them in, and we saw up boards for various people, and I'm not even 100% sure who owns this log, but we normally just saw 1-inch lumber. But if you look, there's some bigger dimensional lumber. A guy wanted some 6x6 beams the other day. We made a few of those, but it's just club members lumber we're sawing into boards, and it pretty much speaks for itself. We put a log on there, you square it up to get a large square piece of lumber, and then you start cutting boards off of it.
Now, the Power of the Past actually owns the sawmill.
Yeah. This will be the 3rd year that they never had a sawmill. We've had a couple portable ones brought in, but this is the 3rd year for the portable, or the permanent sawmill here. First year it didn't have a shed over it, and this year we put a shed over it, and or 2 years ago. And this year we made a couple more upgrades. It's just a work in progress.
Now, when did you get involved in steam engines and the sawmill and get involved with everything going on?
Basically my whole life. I grew up as a kid around steam engines. My neighbor had one, and I used to go and tell my wife we'd go to Rushville show, and I said I'm gonna have one of those one day, and she thought I was crazy until one showed up in our driveway. I've owned a steam engine since the early 90s. I think 91 I bought one. So I've been an owner for going on, well, that'd be 24, 35 years. And well, I've got 2 steam engines, tractors, old cars. We've got a little bit of everything.
So why don't we turn around here, and Dave, if you don't mind, we can sort of walk through this. Why don't you tell us a little bit how it works? You've got the engine out there. We've obviously got the belt. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how they interact with each other, how the engineers work?
Well, the engine basically is powering everything, with the large belt, and then it goes to, basically through a set of gears. It hooks into that cable and moves that'll move your carriage back and forth, and that's what pulls the log through and makes the lumber. And it's like I said, the steam engine, some of the larger mills, they've got other power sources, but this is what's really used to be called a portable sawmill, because you could take it to the farm and set it up, and in one day's time they would set it up on the ground and start sawing lumber. And everything is powered off of the steam engine, like I said.
Now, one of the things we talked with one of our guests with earlier this week was how many people it took to do a task, right? We were talking about the future of agriculture being autonomous tractors that require no one. You've got a lot of guys out here working on this. Would this have been pretty typical of this in the working time?
Well, you would have had one engineer on the engine whose job was to keep it running and continue to put wood in it, and also keep water in the boiler. And then normally you'd have probably at least 2, maybe 3, and up to 4 people off bearing, and that's the guys carrying the lumber off. And then you would normally have your sawyer who would run the lever, and then you'd have what I was doing earlier. It was you'd work back here, help flip the log, and just basically put new. When this log is finished, what we should have is 2 runners, and you would have a whole row of logs here. So as soon as one was done, you just roll another one in. We're not quite as efficient as it should be, but that would be 2, maybe 5. There'd be 6 or 7 people on a normal sawmill crew.
And the skid steer right behind us that loads the logs probably makes that a lot easier too.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't have a skid steer back in the day either. They would use a horse, and you would basically tie a rope, have a rope tied to something with a horse over there, run over a log, and the horse, as he would walk away, he would pull the log up onto the carriage. And then also a lot of the manpower, the muscle power.
Now, coming out to the Power of the Past and other shows, what do you enjoy about doing this?
Besides the mechanical stuff, you got to be a machine nut to do it. The camaraderie, we know people, and a couple of weeks ago I was at Georgetown, Ohio, and it's kind of the same clique, and we go to Wauseon, Ohio, which is way up north. We've got, at the Rushville show a couple of weeks ago, we had people from North Carolina. We've got a couple families we know. He bought that steam engine in Iowa. We've got real good friends out there. You just know people all over the country. So it's, besides the steam engines, there's a lot of needling and joshing around, and it's just not get up and work. It's a lot of play. But you really have to be into it. And it's the same if you got a John Deere 8 or a Farmall Cub. You think that the steam engine's so great, but you can't tell a 12-year-old kid with a Farmall Cub his tractor isn't the best thing on earth. It takes all kinds to make the hobby go. And these guys, well, he owns an engine, and he's wanting one, and his father-in-law, and then he's got his wife here and his kids, and they're all helping out. My wife's back at the camper. I don't get much out of her.
Well, we should have probably done this at the beginning, but why don't you introduce yourself to us just for the record, too?
My name's Tim Trable, and I live down in the Sunman area, over by Yorkville and New Elsa's, which in this area, everybody knows where that's at.
Well, thank you for spending time with us, helping educate us. I think can we see it run here? After we maybe sign off on the radio, we're going to film a little bit of video, but thanks for joining us here on Live at 5 on WTRE and on YouTube.
We want to thank everybody for allowing us to come back here to the sawmill. That was a special invitation, and just how important it is to educate your kids and your family that this is where we started and how far we've come. So make sure to make your way out to the Power of the Past and see it in action for yourself.
That's going to be a wrap on the 35th annual Greensburg Power of the Past and the Live at 5 here on WTRE from the Greensburg, Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds. It's been a great year, Emily. We've gotten to talk to a ton of people about the history, the events, and of course, the tractors and equipment that's out here.
We have, and we couldn't have done it without all of our sponsors and our help. So a big thank you to Russ Hubler for presenting Live at 5 to bring it to you at home if you couldn't make it out. Gillentow Funeral Home, Scripture Automotive, Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital for all of your supporting sponsors. Our Trailer Sales of Indiana, thank you for providing us with a fabulous stage this year. I do want to thank the WTRE staff, Kathy, Sandy, and BJ back at the station. Special thanks to Jeremy Stallsman for help with the sound. A big thanks to Dave Henderson for all of our technical support and technical issues. We have to say a big thanks to our families that help us out because we couldn't be here without them.
It takes a whole lot of people to help us make us look this good.
It sure does. I also want to thank my co-host Josh Marsh this year. It's been a great time, and who knows what will show up next, right?
That's right.
All right. We can't say enough thanks to the officers and the board of directors here at the Power of the Past. They've welcomed us to the middle of the tractor field. They've helped us with everything that we can need help with. They've shared their stories, and they've taught us so much history. So as we've learned here at the Power of the Past, keep helping one another out, and guess what? We'll see you all next year.
That's right. Bye.
Bye.